What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Cap Sports. I am your host, Colton, with my co-host, my boy, Preston.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you. So we're going to jump back and talk about the Alabama team that we saw for the first part of the season up until the second half of the Alabama-Georgia game, and we're going to be recapping everything that's going on there. And the team they've been since that second half going forward. So just let's dive in.
Yeah, it's been very tragic to see, Bama jumped out to that huge lead in the Georgia game. And then at halftime, I don't know what they did as far as Bama. I don't know what Bama did to make Georgia come back so bad. Kirby Smart's a very good coach.
Yeah, I mean, credit to the Georgia team. They obviously played a great game.
Absolutely.
But I hate to be this way because Georgia played a great game that second half. But at the end of the day, I mean, I put the problem, I put it on Alabama. I put it on coaching.
You got to. With that big of a lead in the first half, you had your foot on their throats.
Absolutely.
All you had to do was just
they were
step
on their last breath, and we let them continue to breathe and build back. And, for me, again, it's coaching. And play, like the players, they do what they do, but it was coaching. It was such bad decision making. Like in the second half, we continued to snap the ball with 20 and 30 seconds left.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And we didn't blitz. We blitzed great the first half. We looked phenomenal in the first
Carson
half.
Beck was in shambles the first half.
I mean,
you had
picks were in his face. And then after that, though, we stopped blitzing. We played a soft zone for the remainder of the game. And I get it. Maybe it's just like in a sense of prevent defense.
But then on offense, you were still taking shots downfield.
Yeah. I mean, credit to our cornerback for making that interception at the end of the game to seal the deal. But it didn't look good. And then obviously, whatever happened in that second half against Georgia rolled over into the Vandy game, and Vandy played lights out, and they've continued to show that. The quarterback for Vandy is outstanding.
Diego Pavia.
Yes, they played a fantastic game.
Johnny Manziel 2.0.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean,
Bama's kryptonite.
Something, yeah. That's a great way to put it. It's their kryptonite.
No, with the second half for the Georgia game, going back to it for a second, if Ryan Williams doesn't bail us out, we lose that game.
Absolutely. One of the greatest plays I've ever seen. I don't know why that man isn't getting 7 to 10 targets a game.
Well, then he turns around and does it again in the Vandy game.
Yeah.
It just didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because our defense couldn't stop a leak.
Couldn't stop it. I mean, that little shovel pass, and then, that Vandy was doing, and then South Carolina follows up the next week doing that same play against us. So, I mean, any team with a good running, and, dual threat quarterback that has a somewhat decent running game are going to tear us up for the remainder of the season. So, I mean, they've seen that. So, the defense, Kane Womack, they've got to figure it out. Like, they've got to dig down deep and figure something out with this defense, because I think our offense is there. We've been averaging.
The offense has been fine.
We've been averaging almost 40 points a game.
They've been fine going. So against Vandy, they looked like they have been.
Yeah,
offense-wise.
Offense looked great.
They've been moving the ball,
plays,
throwing. Yeah, some weird play calls, especially in the Vandy game.
You know who? So I was actually watching some highlights of Amari Cooper and Blake Sims earlier today. I would love to see that style of offense between Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams. It wasn't just your typical slant or go deep or whatever.
It was the screens, the quick outs, and let them go.
Yeah, I mean, they put them in motion a lot. Like, that's the kind of stuff I need to be seeing with Ryan Williams.
Instead, we're getting zone run left with Milroe, zone run right with Milroe on second down, and then we're going to throw it 60 yards downfield on third down, incomplete, and punt.
Yeah, and barely run a minute to a minute and a half off the clock.
Yeah, and that's one of the main things I want to talk about is because we're going to go back to the Georgia game. The second half, we could have fed Jam Miller and Justice Haynes,
who the first 3 or 4 games
they've been really good.
Were really good, and then now we've shot away from them. And I don't understand.
They can't get oiled up. They can't get greased up. They can't get going because they'll get one carry a drive. It seems. I know all this is dramatic, but essentially getting 2 to 3 carries a drive.
Yeah. They need more.
And one of those carries are going to bust for 8 to 10 yards.
They have such a high probability of busting a long run. Because
offensive line's been good enough.
Yeah. Offensive line has been really good, with the exception of the first game where we had, a true freshman in. but that's fine. We've got our guys back in there. But yeah, so those running backs are elite. They're studs.
Yeah.
And I would love.
And they're probably pissed off right now because they're not getting the
Absolutely.
touches because
And they
Jalen
sh-
Milrow
they
is
should
getting more or getting the same amount of carries as our running backs, which can't happen because you need Milrow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need Milrow for that thing to run because if you can, and all the football people know this, if you can establish a good running game with your running backs,
You open up
everything.
You open up everything with the offense.
And you keep your quarterback on his feet.
Yeah.
You keep
the,
him healthy.
Yeah, you keep the defense honest because then the defense will have to play and prepare for a potential good run, which we are obviously capable of with our two stud running backs. And Milrow has definitely progressed since last season. And the first half against Georgia was the best I've ever seen him. That is the Jalen Milrow.
Throwing the ball
I've been
anywhere
wanting to
you
see
wanted
all
to.
season for the last year and a half. That's the man I've been wanting to
Right.
see.
Yep.
And I feel like we've still been
You see
seeing,
it a little bit.
yeah, we've still seen it a little bit. But if we're relying on him to be the sole runner, sole passer, like defenses,
He won't make it to the end of the season.
no, absolutely not. And that's easy for a defense to prepare for.
And I think that's the code that was cracked in the second half because Bama offensively, they didn't change anything.
Yep.
They didn't eat any clock. They didn't. Obviously, the defense slacked off a little bit, playing more of a zone and not getting any pressure on Carson Beck. But offensively, we could have ate so. Georgia wouldn't have got 4 or 5 possessions if we would have ran the football efficiently enough and not just throw the ball all over the yard. You had all your passing yards in the first half.
Honestly, we turned into the Atlanta Falcons versus the New England Patriots.
It was
Super
bad.
Bowl.
It was
Luckily,
getting bad.
we were thankful enough to win the game.
Yeah. So whatever code was cracked for Vandy and even South Carolina this past weekend, I don't know. It's scary to see because
Teams are going to see that. Like they are studying that tape and they're going to figure it out. So I hope and pray that our coaches have been doing their due diligence and really diving in and making these changes because otherwise we will not be in the top 12.
South Carolina's a 3-3 team. They don't play like a 3-3
No,
team. They
no.
are a very good team with a true freshman quarterback who's a freak.
Yeah. Really great team. They had an opportunity to beat
LSU early in the season,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yep.
They I don't know. They need to get it together. Going back to our defense a little bit though, our linebackers seem like you said it earlier, going back, the coaching and the fundamentals and getting the players in the right position for them to be able to make the right plays. Vandy and South Carolina losing our one-on-one matchups.
Yes.
Like our defensive line can't get through. Our linebackers, they may plug a hole for a running back, but then the running back makes one move and our linebackers are gone. They disappear and the running back's taken off because our secondary's, following what's going on downfield. Our linebackers have been so undisciplined. Great linebacking core.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best since I've
Studs.
seen since the early 2010s for Alabama.
But when they plug a hole, do they close their eyes? When they try to make a tackle?
I don't.
Do they go in with their head down?
Something. I
I
mean,
hope I tackled this
we
guy.
might need to. Bama might need to get a new eye doctor for the team because it's not looking.
I
good.
don't understand how they're undisciplined and then
But that's my point. What I said earlier, we were playing a lot of soft zone.
Yeah.
Like we're instead of going to man coverage, we're going to spots and staying in a 5-yard radius of those predetermined spots. So instead of playing a lot more man, and then honestly, we need to be blitzing. We need to be better disguising coverages, and we need to be blitzing.
yeah. You got Deontay Lawson, you got Jahad Campbell, who back-to-back weeks against Vandy and South Carolina, who's been hosed on roughing the passer penalties.
Horrible
When
calls.
he's running, he's putting pressure on the quarterback, comes in with his hands up to block a pass because he can't get to the sack to make the tackle, throws his hands up to deflect the pass, misses, his hands are coming down, grazes the quarterback's helmet, 15 yards. I'm pretty sure both of those roughing the passers were on third downs to extend drives.
they were,
We're
yeah.
getting off the field, but we touched the quarterback's helmet, and that's roughing the passer because
Yeah.
make it make sense. I don't know. And then you have a sack on Aaron Rodgers on Monday Night Football where they got called roughing the passer. Later on in the press conference, he says, "Yeah, that wasn't roughing the passer. It was all right for me."
Yeah. And I mean,
Figure it out. That's one of the most controversial penalties in college and NFL.
But to be fair, you can't compare NFL versus college. They do.
You can't, but they're trying to protect the quarterback,
Yeah.
and
I get where you're
I'm
coming
pretty
from.
sure a slap on the helmet it doesn't require 15 yards, but that's why we're here and not officiating.
So with all that being said, though, this is Tennessee hate week, y'all. Okay, Tennessee hate week.
They low down, they dirty.
All right, their stadium is a construction workers convention.
Yeah.
Like, we hate you. Their orange is that ugly throw up inside of a pumpkin orange.
Gaudy orange.
Yeah. So
It
in case
this
you're
is
wondering, we don't like you.
no, we don't like Tennessee at all. This is a very important week for both teams because Bama lost to Vandy, Tennessee lost to Arkansas in the same week.
Yep.
This past weekend, Bama struggled against South Carolina,
And
clawed out a win.
Yeah, Tennessee struggled against Florida. I
We
mean,
took to overtime. Florida, you should have went for two.
Shoulda
Should have
went
went
for-
for two. You lost your starting quarterback.
I've never pulled for Florida so much as I did this
Go for
past
two.
weekend.
You've got nothing to lose. Your coach is already on the hot seat. If you get that 2-point conversion, upset Tennessee, Napier's there for another 15 years. But you decide to kick a field goal, extra point, go for overtime, which I get it. In the moment, yeah, play smart. But, man, you had a chance to upset Tennessee for the second week in a row. Tennessee getting upset,
You
but
let
you
us
decided
down.
to kick a field goal and go to overtime. I was doing my gator chomp at the house, but you let me down,
Yep.
and that's another reason why Billy Napier is probably going to be gone at the end of the season.
I don't know if he makes it that long.
He may not,
I'm surprised he made it past the game, but
This
each
is
their own.
yeah. So in the last 17 years, Bama is 16-1 against Tennessee. Obviously, the last time Bama played at Tennessee,
don't remind me.
yeah, they
Talking about there should have been, roughing the passer. Bryce Young definitely should have had a penalty, from that Tennessee defense when he got absolutely smacked.
yeah,
And they didn't call it.
No.
We had the opportunity to win the game.
yeah.
And they called, or don't call it, and hoses. But
Yeah, roughing the pass is a coin flip.
So we got our revenge in the next season.
But this is definitely going to be a tough environment for Alabama. They going back to what we've been saying, they need to establish a run game because Tennessee's got a really good run game. They relied on their running back a lot this past weekend against Florida. Their quarterback didn't play as good. The quarterback's still a freak, but
Yeah.
their running game,
playing-
they relied on their running game a
Playing
lot.
like a freshman. And I mean, just understand, he's playing like a
Yeah.
freshman.
Yep. So got to get Jam Miller and Justice Haynes going. We don't need to rely on Milroe that much in the running game. You can't. Not against Tennessee. Tennessee's got
no.
a fantastic defensive line.
Fantastic defense.
They're going to make it tough for him. But
I mean,
if
their
you make it
defense is
obvious,
giving up less than 20 points a game.
if you make it obvious against Tennessee, and Josh Heupel's a fantastic coach,
Can't believe I ever heard you say
they're
that.
going to make adjustments. I mean, if Bama don't come in here ready, and if they start out struggling, it's going to be a long night for. And I feel like if it does start out ugly for Alabama, they're going to hit the panic button.
Yep.
And it's going to be 4 verts every play, trying to force Ryan Williams the ball, and it's just not going to work out that
Well,
way.
they haven't even been doing that, unfortunately. The thing that irritates me the most, though, with Alabama and the state of the program right now is that we finally got to see what they're capable of in that first half against Georgia, and then so we know
It
what they're
disappeared as quick as it showed up.
we know what they're capable of. So we know that they can do these things, and then now we're not. So that makes it that much more frustrating. I think I would have rather lost against Georgia than against Vandy.
If they would have came back and beat Bama, I feel like a lot of Alabama fans would have accepted that more
Yep.
because then they would have been pissed off playing
Pissed
against
off.
Vandy. Hopefully, I mean we don't know looking back now because they played so soft, but that was such a high adrenaline game,
Yeah, it's mentally
super
draining.
hyped up game playing against Georgia.
Yep. I mean,
And-
it takes a lot out of you as an athlete.
I guess it's got to. But yeah, so going back to the the Bama Tennessee game, this is a prove it game for both teams.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. More so,
You make your statement for the rest of the season this Saturday.
absolutely. I say more so for Alabama than Tennessee, really and truly.
Bama's looked worse.
Bama has looked what? I mean, Tennessee might be the better team.
Yeah.
Now Alabama has far more potential
Yeah.
and capability.
Because we still don't know what they look like.
We don't know.
They haven't put a full game.
Two
They've
quarters of football.
They've put one half together where
Yeah.
it's like, holy crap, this team is legit.
unbeatable
Yeah.
until they were.
Yeah.
And again, that's why I'll continue to say it goes back to coaching. Like it's been very laid back and just,
Going back to that laid back coaching, it's been weird seeing DeBoer on the sidelines and how he reacts to certain things compared to Saban would be beating a team by 65 points. And if somebody missed an assignment somewhere, he was losing his shit.
Yes, absolutely. And I said before the season, whenever we hired DeBoer, that I would do my best not to compare him to Saban. And it's unfair. And I don't compare him to Saban in that sense of who he is as a man and person, yada, yada. But when it comes to coaching, or I'm not going to compare him to Saban in the win-loss column. I won't do that. But what I feel is
accountability.
What I feel is fair to compare him in is, like you just said, in accountability and how you respond to hard times. And I feel like he's too busy trying to be the team's friend and, get them to like him versus being their leader and being their coach. Like he's in a sense too worried about a popularity contest.
That's what I was going to say.
And they don't need that. They need a man. They need a leader, someone that can guide them through the hard times and show them the way.
You put Saban in the situation where Georgia comes back like they did in the second half. With Saban as a coach, they beat Vandy handedly.
Yeah, Vandy doesn't score. They may give up 3 points.
Not taking anything away from Vandy. Vandy's been good this year.
Very, very good.
But I feel like Bama beats Vandy by 25 points. Yeah. With all due respect, Vandy.
Yeah, don't attack us.
But this is a prove-it game for both Alabama and Tennessee. Got a lot to figure out on both sides of the ball. I feel like for both teams, looking back on these last couple of weeks. But is this an elimination game of the playoffs? An early elimination game?
No.
Depending on how they look?
No, it's not. I mean, whether either, obviously one of the two teams is going to lose. I don't believe so. I think they both still have an opportunity.
Because like we said earlier, Bama has looked worse the past couple of weeks.
Whoever loses, if they win out, they're both going to be.
You're still in the
12.
SEC.
Yeah, they're still in the SEC. They're still going to be in the top 12.
Yeah.
Both of these teams will be.
Well, it depends on how everybody else looks in the SEC.
Both of these teams will be representing the SEC in the top 12 in the playoffs. So,
I'd like to think so.
As long as they win out, depending on who loses, as long as they win out, yes.
Yeah, because I think the only thing that kept Bama from falling as much
is how many teams lost that same day.
Well, the same day, but us beating Georgia is the only thing keeping us in the top 10 right now because you lose to Vandy, okay, you drop to 7 from 1.
Yeah.
You struggle against South Carolina. You gave up you were up 14-0, gave up 19 unanswered points, and had to claw and scrape your way to that win.
Yep.
So going back to,
I really hope they found some resiliency in that and kind of showed themselves.
They need a bye week now.
They've already
yesterday.
They've already had one.
You're going to get another one, but they need one now. So yeah, you say it's not an elimination game though.
I don't feel so. And again, that is dependent upon if both teams win out. If so if Bama beats Tennessee and Tennessee has 2 losses at the end of the year, but win all the other remaining games, even not appearing in the SEC championship, yes, I do still feel that they will make the top 12.
Good thing we're not one of the voters.
Yeah,
because trying to figure out who to choose from the SEC, the Big Ten, that's going to be. I feel like half of your
Ohio
bracket.
So
at the end of the season.
Michigan's got losses. Ohio State's got lost now.
I think Michigan's out of it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I do feel that they are out.
This game
because they still have to play each other.
Yeah.
So Michigan's either going to have multiple losses or Ohio State's going to have 2 losses.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of football to be played.
There's a ton of football left, and like I said, the SEC and Big Ten being the biggest conferences in the nation. They've got a microscope on them because I feel like the committee is going to be honed in on because you don't have an East and West in the SEC this year. You just got the top 2 teams.
Yep.
Best record in the conference, you get to represent the conference in Atlanta.
Yep.
So, and A&M right now is undefeated in the conference, sitting number 1 in the conference.
Unbelievable.
So that you got, just going off of that, you got A&M, Georgia, Texas, Bama, let's do that again. A&M, Georgia, Texas, Bama, Tennessee. Who else is another iffy team in the SEC? Maybe. If Vandy stays hot.
Yeah.
You never know.
I think they will.
So that's 5 teams right there. They're not going to put 5 SEC teams in the playoff.
Again, like you said, I'm so glad I'm on the committee because If they do,
You look at the Big Ten, they got
I think
Oregon,
they do. I think Vandy.
Ohio State.
I think Vandy can win out.
Penn State. They might. Who knows? They did beat Bama.
Yeah,
I would say crazier things have happened, but
yeah,
they beat Bama.
yeah.
So, yeah, that I can't wait for this game.
Such an important game.
Bama, Tennessee, especially the past couple of years, like
If Bama
before-
loses this game, look at me. If Bama loses this game, this is the first and last podcast because we might off
good thing we didn't
ourselves.
say that with the Vandy game.
Yeah.
This
Like,
game's
it's-
a coin flip.
Yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
So speaking of going into Tennessee, we're going to transition to a little bit of NFL. We're going to talk about unfortunately, my Tennessee Titans right now.
It's okay. It's like a 1A, 1B. I'm truthfully a Steelers fan, but so we live in Alabama, but it's hard not to pull for
Tennessee's
the
a 2-hour ride up
Yeah,
the road.
yeah, like-
Nashville's a great.
great atmosphere.
Yeah.
We love it. Derrick Henry played there for years, so I mean, I was really hyped on Will Levis this year. Actually, I was very.
I think a lot of people were.
I'm very disappointed. I don't know if it's play calling or if it's him.
Levis
or what.
is hot garbage. Hot take.
It's
Hot garbage.
so bad. I've never seen one man accomplish what he has done as far as memes go in the span of time that he's done
Every
it.
week.
Every single week he has a meme. And they're not good. It's not
He's-
good for him, at least.
What's crazy is this Titans team on paper looks amazing.
Oh, yeah, they have the talent.
Offense and defense.
The only thing they're missing is Derrick Henry.
I think they're okay.
They are, but still, Derrick
Yeah,
Henry.
I mean, Derrick Henry, he's a staple for Nashville and the Titans, but they're okay. Pollard, Spears, that's another team I feel like doesn't run the ball enough.
They aren't. But that makes sense because they're always so far behind. So that makes sense. They have to catch up.
The other day against the Colts, they started Pollard 8 on Sunday against the Colts. But they're like, okay, well, Pollard's doing good. Let's throw a prayer with Will Levis.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got D-Hop, Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, who's been a good addition for the Titans.
And I never hear his name. I was so excited.
Because he can't get the ball because Will Levis sucks.
I was so excited about them getting him. Probably more so than I was for
Sleeper.
For
He was a
Ridley.
sleeper signing.
Absolutely. I was like, oh man, this is going to be an elite wide receiver group, and it is just hit rock bottom. It's sad. Like
If Tannehill was still in this offense, I think he thrives.
probably.
I feel like as Titans fans, we were mad at Tannehill last year because he would take the sack.
Yeah.
He would take the sack.
But he
wouldn't-
wasn't throwing some crazy ass.
That's what I'm saying. The
interception.
difference between Tannehill and Levis this year is Levis, he's not going to take a sack. He'll get out of there, but he's going to throw it to God knows who that's wearing a different color jersey.
Absolutely. I don't know how he's regressed so much since last. He had such a spark last year and was throwing amazing passes, touchdowns, and so forth. I don't know what his. I don't know
He
if it's-
shouldn't have performed as good as he did in that Falcons game last year when he started.
Yeah.
3 for 4 touchdowns, couple 100 yards. I don't even think he turned the ball over in
No.
that game.
No.
So that was our first look at Levis. And it's like, holy crap, we got the guy. And even for the Titans franchise, they saw that game. It's like, Tannehill, we'll see you later. We got a guy.
Yeah.
You don't, Tennessee. You don't.
Yeah. No. At this point, I mean, you have a losing record. You have one win. It's not. You just.
Oh, and by the way, you got Mason Rudolph as the backup. So you have nothing to go to.
Oh, that's not
You have
true.
nothing. No, I
That's
can't
not
respect a guy who had his own helmet ripped off and hit in the face with. I can't respect a guy like that.
Accusations unfounded. for
But
that.
I will back Rudolph. He's got our only win this year.
He's for that. So there's that. He has playing experience with the Steelers. He has played really well every single time he had to come in for Ben Roethlisberger or for cleanup duty, or if Ben got hurt during a game, or if he got the start, because Ben was out. He's a really good quarterback, and honestly, I mean, at this point, see what you have.
Throw
in him.
him in there.
See, I mean, it's not going to get worse.
No, it's not.
It's not going to get worse.
He might not be able to scramble out of a sack, but Tannehill couldn't either. But he could throw it.
No,
He's accurate.
He's actually a relatively fast guy, speaking, but he can throw the football. He's very accurate. I mean, you have nothing to lose.
You don't, and you can't. It's way too early to say tank for a quarterback, but it's.
I don't.
You've
feel
got to do something. Titans already lost their bye week. They look the exact same against the Colts this past Sunday than they have, going into the bye week.
Yep. Since game one.
You can't. Levis is a.
What, they've lost 3 games by, less than a touchdown, right?
I don't think they scored 20 points up until
Well, I'm
the
saying,
Miami game.
I'm saying though, like the all the
Oh, one possessions, yeah.
yeah.
That's one less turnover.
Yeah.
That's one more stop on defense. And the defense has
defense has
been
looked good.
Granted, they just got their
they've-
first turnover this past weekend,
Yeah.
but they've been stout.
Defense has looked good, but they've just been on the field a lot.
Because
Turnovers, offensive turnovers.
I don't know. So staying with the Tennessee Titans, they released Jamal Adams today. And
Yeah, at his request, actually.
It was his request.
Yep.
So that's
I'm surprised by it.
you signed with Tennessee, and then you brought in Quandre Diggs,
Yep.
a fellow Legion of Boomer from Seattle.
Yep.
So you bring in your boy, he
And say-
performs, and
Peace.
Jamal Adams can't stay healthy.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
been his issue for the past couple of years.
Yep. I agree. It's tough. I mean, he's getting older. He's getting up there. I mean, he's 30-ish.
He was a glorified linebacker. I mean,
He's a great athlete.
he was a good safety.
He's a great athlete. I
He was great in Seattle.
I think he has a lot left in the tank. He expected more out of the Titans, and I agree. I mean, I understand where he's coming from. So he wants to win. He wants to win now. So
Thing about not NIL, the NFL, it's a next man up. So if you spend the first few weeks you're there or months when you're at a place hurt, the guy under you is just going to keep getting reps and reps and
and getting
reps
better.
and getting better. And it's to the point where it's like, well, this guy's better than you. You can't stay healthy. We can't rely on you for anything.
Yep.
It's probably a mutual thing. It's like, hey, I want to leave. And it's like,
Yeah.
we're okay with that.
Best of
Best of
luck.
luck, yeah.
Best of luck.
He'll end up
Absolutely.
on the Chiefs
Yeah. So
or the Ravens. He's going to.
God, don't even say that because it's true. That's definitely what's going to happen. And he's going to play the best football he's ever freaking played in his life somehow.
Yeah, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that.
So
'Cause
going-
look at Kareem Hunt. He got released by obviously played with the Chiefs, been with the Browns. They don't sign him this year. He gets picked up, and it
With
balled out.
Pacheco going down,
Yeah,
he gets picked
balled
up by
out.
the Chiefs.
Balled out in one
Yeah.
game. Balled out. It's like, and then all the Browns fans are like, why didn't we re-sign Hunt? Da, 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 da.
There's so many what ifs.
Okay, so that leads us to the next thing. The Browns, the state of the Browns. Obviously, Amari Cooper just got traded to the Bills, which I'm extremely excited about
Yep.
because that is the best quarterback he's had the opportunity to play with in the
No doubt.
NFL. So I'm extremely. He's 30 years old, so I mean that's considered old in the NFL. Not so much as a wide receiver as it would be compared to a running back.
Right.
But I think he has so much left in the tank. He's probably, people don't know this, but he's probably the best route runner in the NFL.
He's stout,
He
yeah.
understands the route tree better than anybody. I mean, he's top 5, and he still has all these accolades and great stats each year with very, in a sense, mediocre QBs.
Yeah. So when he got drafted, it was to the Raiders. He had Derek Carr.
Yeah, a young Derek Carr.
He got traded to the Cowboys.
That's right.
Had Dak Prescott, and you never know how he's really going to perform.
Yeah, I mean, 1 week with Dak, I remember specifically, like, in the, 1 week, like, Coop had like 10 targets, 8 catches, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the next week had like 3 targets, 1 catch, 30
Right.
yards. So it's like that up
Yeah.
and down. It just blows my mind. Obviously, same since he went to the Browns. Him and Joe Flacco last year went off. Like, he went for like 1,200 yards, multiple touchdowns. Fantastic year. Then the start of this year, Coop hasn't looked bad.
No, but you get terrible quarterback play from Deshaun Watson, who's the highest paid quarterback before Dak. He was the highest paid quarterback in
With
the
guaranteed
league.
money, yeah.
Right. So, and even last year, that was a lot of going back to him, Cooper going to the Browns. It's like, oh, you got Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball.
Well, really, when Coop actually went to the Browns, Baker Mayfield was still there.
He was still there.
He was still there. So I was super excited. I was like, oh, man, this actually might work out really, really well. But, then, like, within a
Forgot
week
about
or a
that.
couple
Yeah.
weeks, like, they got
So
rid
it was
of.
that next offseason that Baker,
No, it wasn't even with the offseason. It was, like, within a couple weeks or so of Coop going to the Browns, Baker was gone, and then they brought in Deshaun.
okay,
Yeah. So, like, they never even threw a pass together, probably. Yes. Yep. So him going to the Bills, I think is fantastic for him, for his career, for his legacy.
Well, it's good for Josh Allen,
It's
too.
great for Josh
Because
Allen.
he's a top 3 quarterback in the league.
And Josh Allen, what I love about him is that when he has an elite wide receiver, he's not afraid to target them.
Yeah, and
He's not
there's
afraid to target them multiple times a game. He's
don't
going to
think
give them the ball.
going
and
back-
Coop has never had that, so I'm so excited.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't think Coop brings any drama or baggage with him.
No drama.
He's head on a swivel.
He's a
show
football
up, play
guy.
ball.
He
Yeah.
loves football. He loves playing the wide receiver.
He's not going to be
position.
a prima donna.
No. So
Yeah, no, I'm definitely happy for Coop.
yeah, I'm very excited.
Which stinks because the Bills play the Titans this weekend, and Coop might get fed this weekend.
Well,
Can't blame him.
As much as I
Welcome
say,
to Buffalo.
I
You're
hope
about to
so.
get 4 touchdowns.
I hope so. Just for the sake of Coop, he deserves it. After everything's been through, I hope so. I hope he
Maybe next week.
tears that ass up.
Maybe the Titans can steal a win. And then Coop can go off.
Yeah, we'll see.
Coop's probably going to have 4 routes this weekend. It's like, hey, you can run a route this way, you can run it this way, that way.
They're going to say, "Do you remember?"
And he's
that-
still going to have 200 yards.
Do you remember
receiving.
that Amari Cooper you were in college?
Yeah.
You get to be him again.
Yeah. Because the Bills, they don't really have that guy right now. So Coop comes in first week, might not get a lot of touches, but he's already the number 1 receiver. I feel like in everybody else's eyes.
No, he's going to get his touches. I think
so too.
I think he'll get 7 to 10 targets for sure. Even not knowing the offense, they're just going to say, run whatever you want to run based on the defensive coverage, and Josh will throw you the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Hey, beat that guy one-on-one, you will get this ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're going to get it a lot if you keep winning.
So speaking of receivers, though,
Going to better quarterback situations.
Yep, Devontae Adams.
Aaron Rodgers gets his boy back.
Do you think it's going to make a difference? Is this going to make a difference for the Jets? Is it going to make a difference for
I think it's going to make
Rodgers?
a huge difference for the Jets
Really?
and Rodgers.
Really?
Yeah, confidence-wise. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not so. I feel less confident about it than I do with Coop to the Bills. They don't even. Yeah, for real. Obviously Rodgers and Adams have that repertoire together. They've been together for years prior. But I don't know. They're obviously Rodgers is older. Devontae Adams is older. Still elite at their positions.
What made them so dangerous?
But we're still talking about the Jets.
Right. So what made them so dangerous in Green Bay together is they had that, like, I know what you're going to do without you telling me type stuff.
Yeah, so
they had that
connection.
psychological work, that connection. Like, they know they could look at each other. Aaron Rodgers could see, because Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback.
Yes.
He can pick up part of defense like nothing.
Yeah. I think that.
And Devontae Adams is another fantastic route runner, too.
Yeah. I obviously, after the loss for the Jets against the Bills the other night and coming down to that
It's hilarious that the next day they.
Oh, not even day. It's like within 2 hours.
That
or
night.
So. Yeah. Rodgers was talking about how, he was expecting his receiver to be on the outside on the red line, which is, 5 yards between the numbers and the sideline. But he cuts inside. So, Rodgers was expecting to throw it to this position that he expected his wide receiver to be at. Couldn't because the guy didn't run the right route, so he had to throw somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're going to be, with Devontae Adams being there, it's going to be that, hey, I'm going to give you this look. If I see what you see, you know what I'm about to do.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
And red zone wise, because I know the Jets have been struggling in the red zone, but that's where a lot of the touchdowns came from Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers, was those red zone touchdowns. So that's going to help them tremendously.
It's going to help deep ball, and like you just said.
And Garrett Wilson's probably going to eat more.
He probably, really and truly, yes, he should. He should eat more because now so much defense is going to be focused on Adams. It's going to open up. They're not going to be,
and Lazard's not a pushover either. Lazard's good.
No, yeah,
he's a big body. He's a big target, and he's been playing with Rodgers for a long time too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's going to open up the,
it's going to be huge for him. I think it's a big win for Aaron Rodgers getting his boy.
It's going to be fun to watch.
But there's really no excuses at this point.
Oh, no
for
excuses.
The Jets, though.
No excuses.
Because I feel like one of the main reasons why Devontae Adams left Green Bay in the first place is because he wanted to prove that he could do it without Rodgers.
Absolutely. As so many athletes do.
And so he goes to Oakland, where him and Derek Carr played college ball together at Fresno State. Yep. Okay, that's cool. That's a nice story, but it didn't pan out. And then Derek Carr leaves and goes to New Orleans.
I disagree. I think it did.
It was good. It was good for what it was.
And then the Raiders gave up on Carr.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. It was good for what it was, but then Carr goes out the window, and then Adams, he got put on a hot mic saying, "You got to get me out of here. I'm going to die."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm going to die." So like, you know what? Let me go with my boy.
Yeah.
AR. So no, it's going to be fun to watch them two get back together and see if they can pick up where they left off in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So in another quarter, I feel like another receiver. I saw this on Twitter this morning. Is D Hop? Is he going to get traded?
I don't know.
Because he has been a
He's-
ghost this year.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it's his fault.
I don't either.
He
but
started the season with an injury.
I don't know what team is going to trade for him with his.
He's a Chief.
Why are you doing
He's
this?
a Chief. That's a Chief thing to do.
Yeah, you're right. It's just his age, his production has fallen off since his previous.
He's
year.
going to be healthy. He hasn't gotten that many targets this
Yeah.
year, so
You're
nobody
right.
really knows how he is.
I think he still has
but
a high ceiling.
He hasn't had a quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but yes, I agree. I think he does still have an extremely high ceiling.
He's a Chief or a Raven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, we got the Thursday night football game going with the Broncos and Saints.
Right. So
The Taints.
So this will be a really, really interesting game. We got two rookie quarterbacks. We've obviously already seen a lot of Bo Nix this year.
Bo Picks.
Yes.
Auburn's finest.
Yep. And then we're going to see
Spencer Rattler. We saw the first time last weekend and didn't look terrible.
Didn't look terrible. Absolutely, I agree. But yeah, now he's going to get his first actual NFL start, and we'll get
It's
to
at
play.
home, which I think favors him a lot.
Yeah, that's a big
The
benefit.
Superdome down there.
Yeah. But it is a practice squad game because so many of the actual starters for both teams are out.
Yeah.
It might be a boring game. So if
It might be a boring game.
If you were tuning in to this game tonight,
you might only be a Saints and Broncos.
you just might have a problem. I would probably call someone about that because
Or you got way too much money on this game,
yeah,
which also you got a problem.
yeah. But yeah, no, it should be interesting.
It kicks off the football weekend. I mean, Thursday night, that's all it is. It's getting you ready. A game like this, it either
Even so, going back to even last year, the last 2 years, with us going to these Thursday night games, they haven't brought the hype or the importance that I feel like the NFL had hoped that it would.
that's what's tough about putting the schedule out before the season gets going.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, you have your marquee dream matchups with Chiefs and Ravens, Chiefs Bills, Ravens Bills,
Yep.
49ers
And whoever.
Lions. You got all this preseason hype for these particular teams. It's like, okay, let's match these teams up on Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football.
Yeah.
You look at the Broncos and Saints even preseason. What made them think it's like, you know what? Let's put the Broncos and Saints week 6
Yep.
Thursday night football.
Nothing about either one of these teams says to me Thursday
Because
night
nobody
football.
knew Spencer Rattler was going to be starting by this time of the season.
Yeah. So nothing about either one of these teams screaming to me, yes, they deserve prime
Got to
time.
watch that game. Got to make sure I turn this game on.
Nothing whatsoever.
No.
This is a throwaway game. So it makes me question the longevity of the Thursday
Now,
night
if the
football
Saints
game.
didn't fall apart like they did after two back-to-back
Huge game.
dominating wins.
Yeah, they're 2-4 now. Blows my mind because their first two games blew teams out.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. They beat the Panthers 47-10, which the Panthers...
Yeah.
But then the Cowboys, which, again, the Cowboys don't look good
No,
at all. But at the time, it's
They
like
don't.
the Saints and Cowboys, holy crap, the Saints beat the Cowboys
Yeah,
44-19.
Totally unexpected win.
Right.
But with that win 2 weeks in a row, it's like, oh man, maybe the Saints are a sleeper team. Maybe they really have got it this year.
Yeah. And then they turn around and lose by 3 points to the Eagles after wearing out the Cowboys. And then 2 weekends ago, lose 26-24 against the Falcons.
Yep.
Who's another really good team.
Yeah, the Falcons. I'm happy for Kirk Cousins. I'll say that.
Kirk Chains.
He's got that dog in him.
Man.
But yeah, so tonight's game, I mean, it is what it is.
Cool. Kicks off the weekend.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a lot more exciting games. So if you watch, congratulations, you're one of the few.
Yeah. So going back to those marquee matchups that we're talking about, nobody could predict how the Vikings would look coming into the season, being 5-0
Are you kidding?
with Sam Darnold as a starting quarterback.
He's him.
Is he?
I mean, obviously they're winning games, right?
I guess.
That's the importance.
5-0. Vikings.
That's why he
with
was-
Sam Darnold being the
What?
guy. After
That's
they lose
why he was the number 3 pick. I mean, number 2 pick. No, he's number
3
3.
because he was after Zach Wilson, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
To the-
That's why he was number
yeah.
3. The Panthers didn't know what the Jets didn't know what they were missing out on.
That's wild to me. Sam Darnold, who was back up to the 49ers, or back up at the 49ers
Yep.
last year. But they brought him over to the Vikings to hopefully bring in or help nurture that quarterback that they would take in the draft, being J.J. McCarthy, and he gets hurt preseason.
Yeah, that was crazy. No, but to be for real, I'm blown away by Darnold. I'm very happy for him. It's always nice to see. I know he's an elite talent. I know he was a top 5 pick, but at the end of the day,
They get thrown in the fire these days.
But he had a lot of negative things going around him.
Yeah.
In his NFL tenure, so for me, it's nice to see guys.
It's a good comeback story.
It is, and same as Baker Mayfield. Number 1 pick.
Huge Baker fan.
I'm a Baker bro. I
Yeah.
love Baker. I'm so Baker. If you
He
ever
is
see
a
this,
movie character.
I love you, dude. Like doing what you're doing at quarterback, being a 5'10", 5'11" quarterback. After everything that went down
He's
with
a
the
G.
Browns, everything that went down with the Panthers. You went to the Rams
For
balled
one
out,
week and blew it up
blew it up, did fantastic.
on Thursday Night Football.
Last year you had, really your best year as a professional. You're doing outstanding this year. Like I love it, dude. Keep it up.
Underdog story.
Yes,
2.0.
You were a truly inspiration for white men quarterbacks that are under 6 foot.
Right, yeah.
Me.
Yeah, they done really good. So going back to the Vikings, so they got a really hot Detroit Lions opponent this weekend.
Absolutely.
Who, again, they just beat the brakes off the Cowboys.
Every week they're doing fantastic. So they have a great 2 running back system.
Yes.
David
David Montgomery
Montgomery
and
and Jahmyr
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Yes. Thunder and lightning.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that Derrick Henry, Trent Richardson
Yeah.
analogy right there from back in the day.
Yeah.
As well as both running backs have done, I actually feel like they're underutilizing Jahmyr Gibbs.
100%. And there's a lot of other people I've seen that feel that way.
Yeah.
Because Jahmyr Gibbs, he was young. He was really good for them last year.
Yeah. Outstanding. And Montgomery, I mean, he's kind of having a career resurgence. So he's been with them now.
Well,
for a bit.
anybody has a resurgence coming from the Bears.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm happy for him. But again, I feel like Gibbs is being underutilized. With that being said, I'm very excited and happy that Jameson Williams, is getting
He's done really good.
is getting
man. He's
doing
still,
his due diligence and getting his
Yes,
praise
he's-
because we all knew what he was capable of.
Yeah, when he was at Bama, he was very, very special. He was.
And we don't mean to relate everything to Bama. It just has happened.
There's a lot of Alabama players in the league, so
and they
sue
happen to
us.
all be really, really good.
Yeah,
so it's
so-
hard not to talk about.
Not
a
our
team,
fault.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, get better players. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's a really good game. Division game.
Yep.
Is the NFC North the best division in football?
Absolutely.
They got the Vikings, the Lions, the Packers, who've done really well, and then the Bears with Caleb Williams.
I wasn't sure how the Bears would look after the first
I don't
couple of
think
games,
anybody would.
but he's done well. He did. He did really well against the Jaguars.
The Jaguars, yeah, that's going back to like who hasn't done well against the Jaguars. So I saw this funny thing, speaking of Caleb Williams, on social media earlier today. CBS Sports put out something, and I didn't send you this because I wanted to bring it up and kind of be raw
Okay, let's hear it.
content. So it's grading the next generation's quarterbacks. This is starting quarterbacks drafted in 2023 and 2024.
Okay,
I'm going to go in order. How they have 1 through, let's see, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the top 8 quarterbacks drafted from last year into this year
okay.
by grade. They have Caleb Williams first at an A-.
Are you okay? Let me just hear this list.
Jaden Daniels is second with a B+, who has looked really good.
He has, but wow. Okay,
Reigning Offensive Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud is third with a B.
he's my number one.
How does that happen? How do you start off with Caleb Williams, then go to Jaden Daniels, who have looked really good this year
There's
as
some
rookies? But if you're going to
serious
make this list,
Bias going on.
C.J. Stroud has to be number
Absolutely.
I don't know
Absolutely,
if this was a
yes.
gag list or if this is straight up.
Who made that list? I want their name and I want their
According
number.
to, we're going
getting
to
a
name
call.
drop. According to Chris Trapasso, Trapasso,
I don't care that he's butchering your
CBS
name.
Sports.
What are you thinking?
So, all right. So CJ Stroud is at third with a B grade.
That's
All right.
that's
Fourth,
unacceptable.
Bo Nix with a C.
That is also unacceptable. Why would you put him at 4? I'm surprised he even makes the list.
Then you got Spencer Rattler
Played 2 quarters of football.
at a C minus. Drake May is after him.
What did he do? Play
With a
one
C
down.
minus.
He's played 1 down of football.
Aiden O'Connell, you know who that is?
Yes, I do for the Raiders.
Okay.
Actually, I think he should be higher on the list.
Is a D.
That's terrible. He played outstanding last year, actually.
And then your boy, Will Levis.
You're telling me he's
an
over
F.
Bryce Young?
Yeah. He's an F, if anybody was never. Yeah, so I was looking through this list earlier. I was like, okay, that's cool. But then I really looked at it and saw C.J. Stroud at third behind Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. It's like,
Unacceptable.
didn't he win Offensive Rookie of the Year and got him to the playoffs?
Got in the playoffs. Played fantastic last year. Outstanding.
Broke
Great.
records.
Broke records. Has looked really good
And
this
the
year.
guy you're comparing to C.J. Stroud,
Bryce or
no,
Caleb?
Jaden Daniels. They're comparing Jaden
Oh.
Daniels to C.J. Stroud is ahead of C.J. Stroud.
Makes 0 sense.
But Caleb Williams is first on that list.
I don't believe this guy who made this list watches football. He just knows the names, and that's probably the gist of it.
So, yeah, I thought that was wild. You've got really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rookies on this list.
Yep.
This year rookies.
Where's Bryce Young?
He's not on there. That was it. I guess you can't get worse than Will Levis, which makes sense.
I bet
Well, this
Bryce.
is Bryce Young third year. This is his third year. This is his third year. Is this third year?
No.
Is it not?
No. He got drafted number 1 overall last year over C.J. Stroud.
He did, didn't he?
Are you-
Sure. I'm looking it up. Yes, I'm looking it up.
I'm 1,000%. I'll bet my
That's
life.
fine if you are. Has it been that long?
Please,
Or hasn't it been that long?
please cut this because this makes
Bryce
him look like an idiot.
Young. Come on, Google. Draft class.
Absolutely cut this. 'cause
First overall pick, 2023 NFL draft. Okay, so could have swore he's been in the league for 5 years. I'm just kidding. I didn't. I thought at least I thought this was his
this
third
is
year.
getting cut, so you can say all you want. I don't want you to look like an idiot.
It's fine. I can look like an idiot.
Doesn't
I went
take
to
much.
Spartan.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, so that's that list. I thought it was wild, but so yeah, CJ Stroud, and he still looks good this year.
yep. Yeah.
So if you're still going to base it off of last year and this year, he should still be
to me, he should
top
be
of the
number 1.
list.
Should be number
Yeah.
1. Yeah. Caleb Williams has not done enough. He went 3 games for he threw a touchdown. So
yeah.
how?
Maybe he's a better player in London. I guess we'll find out this weekend.
Yep. Absolutely. What else we got here?
Yeah, another big matchup this weekend I saw was the Super Bowl rematch between the undefeated Chiefs and the 3-3 49ers, who's been struggling. But you kind of look at it like the Chiefs have struggled too, but
Have won.
they're undefeated.
Yep. They still got Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. And they have the Swifties on their side, so never know with the NFL on that one. But to be fair, the 49ers do not have Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, the running back who's come in for him has been outstanding. Mason
Yes.
he's running the ball outstanding. Hasn't got as many pass catch opportunities out of the backfield
Right.
as CMC would, but has been outstanding. I'm
They're
blown
still
away.
the 49ers. I mean, I don't think anybody's worried about the 49ers having a 3-3 record.
No, absolutely
So
not.
I think more people, I don't know, I want to say more people's worried about an undefeated Chiefs team because they had all this controversy with Travis Kelce not getting enough touches or Patrick Mahomes losing his touch, whatever. They're still undefeated. They'll be
They're
in
only
the
gonna get it better.
conversation. Yeah, they're going to be in the conversation.
They'll have it figured out
at the end of the year. They're going to make some big trade. They might go get another receiver, Rashee Rice being out for the year.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean,
They'll
the
probably
Chiefs
beat
are
the
going to
Steelers
Chiefs.
in the playoffs on some BS penalty. We know how that goes.
Yeah, so that's another big matchup going on this weekend. So who the Titans play? The Titans got the Bills.
Yep.
Yeah. They're going to lose. So we can stop talking about the Titans now. They just make me mad to talk about. Oh, speaking of the Titans, so we were talking about quarterback controversy. See this right here from the Washington Sentinels? Joe Flacco. So, God, not Joe Flacco. Shane Falco. Sorry, autocorrect. Spell check. Shane Falco. He needs to be a Titans quarterback.
I'm now accepting any new co-host available out there. So, yeah. All right, go ahead, redo it.
All right, so going back to the Titans needing a quarterback, Shane Falco, Washington Sentinels. Look him up. He's pretty good. What's some games you're honing in on this weekend? College football.
Ooh, let's see here. All right. I mean, obviously Alabama.
Yeah,
and
Bama, Tennessee. We got it.
Yeah, we've already covered that.
Georgia, Texas, maybe?
LSU, Arkansas. Actually, it's going to be a
Battle of the Boot?
Yeah. So LSU's 5-1. Had a huge win this weekend. Huge. I can't believe that they won that game. Props to them. But Arkansas is a quiet 4-2. So
Yeah, big one against Tennessee a couple weeks.
yeah.
LSU, that was a weird game this past weekend.
Yeah.
LSU, Ole Miss.
I mean, Ole Miss was in full control of that game, and
Until the last drive, it seemed like.
yeah. Honestly, I thought it was a push off for the LSU.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought it was push off. But when I actually saw another angle, it looks like the defender for Ole Miss
It was unathletic
just
and fell.
fell. There was a sniper in the tree somewhere and just took him out by a toenail.
Yeah, that was a really good game. It was a late game.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what other games were going on. You had the Colorado game going on. Oh, the
Oregon,
Ohio State,
yeah,
Oregon.
Yep.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Insane. I'm
Really good game.
fantastic game. Oregon did its thing.
It
Ohio
was
State played
punch
great.
counter, punch counter, punch counter.
Very back and forth. I mean, that's been the top game. I personally think it might have topped the Bama Georgia game.
Oh, well, yeah, because that game ended up being a shit show anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, it was close the entire game for them.
So the Ohio State Oregon game, going back to the last drive, was like 12 to 15 seconds left on the clock. Apparently, Dan Lanning
he did, I believe.
is big-brained the entire sport of college football.
Yes.
He
Fantastic.
Houdini'd Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Intentionally having 12 defenders on the field.
yeah, ran the player out the last second before play clock, and intentionally had that guy out there so that
We'll give you 5 yards.
But we're taking time off the clock.
We're going to take away 8 seconds.
So you have one play. Genius. Did you see today what the NCAA announced?
I did not.
You didn't? So the NCAA came out today and said, we're pretty much closing that loophole.
Was he because he came out and apologized for it, right?
Yeah, admitting that he had, that was his intentions, that was the plan.
I big brained you.
Yes. So the
And it worked.
NCAA came out today and said, like, hey, we're putting it into that. If you
What can you do? You can't enforce. Because you can't ever prove that somebody does that on purpose.
exactly.
So what, you're going to enforce? You can't have 12 men on the field inside of a minute.
So yes, it is under 2 minutes. Is when that will go into effect. I think it has to do with when they break the huddle. Essentially a defensive huddle.
Well, they're going to make it a bigger penalty than more than 5 yards.
So the time runoff will not be in play anymore. It will not affect the offense.
I didn't think it would because it. Oh, so you're saying it would have been a play, but they wouldn't have got docked the time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Golly, why admit to it? Everybody knows you.
That's what I said.
Everybody knows you, even if you didn't.
I don't know. They should. That's the worst thing they could have ever done. Like, why?
That was huge.
Don't admit to it, man. Just accept your awesomeness and move on. And you got the win.
So okay, even with that happening, you got, I think it was 6 seconds left.
Yeah.
With the last play, the quarterback stepped, instead of throwing the ball out of bounds and giving your kicker a chance to make a hellacious
one hell of a slide.
long kick.
Yeah, no, but he slid. He slid.
He slid for 3 seconds.
Yeah, it looked like Trey Turner sliding. It is beautiful, but you lost the game, brother.
You either kick a field goal there because you had the penalty. You can either take a chance at a long field goal anyway, or
which if they did attempt that field goal, it would have been about 10 yards longer than the kicker's career long. So I mean, it was a toss up. But at the end of the day, the quarterback has got to have better awareness to get down 3 seconds before. That way,
Yeah, the defenders let him slide.
honestly, yeah. I mean, yeah, like clock runs out. You didn't get the first. Like,
He didn't start because if you give yourself up,
smart.
that's where they
Yes.
spot you.
Yep.
But you didn't start sliding until there was like
1 second left.
maybe 1 second.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
and then when you called the timeout, fans are already rushing the field.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah. No, it's unbelievable.
Big brain by Dan Lanning, though.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And then all the speculation, of course, come out on Twitter and TikTok saying, "Did he do this on purpose? Did he do this on purpose?" And it comes out, it's like, "Yeah, I did. Sorry about it."
And now you've ruined it for everybody else. Way to go, Dan.
Golly. That's like what Kenny Pickett a couple of years doing the fake slide
Yes. Yeah.
and then taking it to the house. Now that's a rule. It's
Yeah.
like, God, come on, man. Let him be great. So yeah, that was a fantastic game. You're probably gonna get a couple of games like that this weekend. Georgia at Texas, Alabama at Tennessee. That Bama at Tennessee game can either be 50-48 or 23-20 or 14-13.
It won't
You
be-
just don't know
it
the
won't be
past
that
couple of
one.
weeks.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be
High scoring?
Okay, so what's your prediction? What's your score prediction?
I'm gonna obviously have Bama winning every game they ever play. Score-wise,
I'm saying 35-23.
yeah, I was going to say
24.
30-28, 32-27. It's going to be something like that. It's going to be a possession game. I think the spread was 3.
Yes.
So, which I know the spread was 1 for the Bama-Georgia game.
Yep.
So, yeah, that is – I just don't know with Alabama, man. They're so stressful.
Yep. What are the big games we got going on this weekend, though?
So I got written down East Carolina at Army.
Okay.
Army's 5-0.
Yes. I'm excited.
They're rolling.
I've actually-
Them and Navy's 5-0.
Yes, they are.
They're undefeated for the first time since like
watched-
1940.
I watched a game. I've never.
Did you
done-
watch the Army UAB game?
Yeah. Embarrassed them.
See you, Trent Dilfer.
See ya. Yeah, you're not the savior.
You're gone.
Yeah.
Bring back Bill Clark.
They are definitely going to cancel UAB's football program again after watching you coach
But
this
yeah,
team.
Army triple option team just doing work.
Doing absolute work. And
5-0. And East Carolina, they're 3-3, so it's nothing to be crazy about. But it's Army.
Yeah, it's Army still. So I mean, not hate on Army. You know, we respect you guys.
No, we support our troops.
but it's not something that's been done before with these guys.
No.
So it's still a big deal. So
No, it's an exciting game, and it gives you something to root for.
yeah, pulling for you guys. No, I hope y'all see it through. I hope y'all went out.
Army making the playoff. All for nothing. Half these guys are getting deported after the season.
Is
anyway.
it un-American if at that point if they make playoffs and we don't cheer for them?
You kind of got to.
You got to like
Unless
even
they play Alabama.
Alabama. Yeah.
Because it's Jesus and Nick Saban. In that order.
Oh man.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to change the pace a little bit here. We've got top 5 football movies.
It's tough. It's tough.
I don't know his list. He doesn't know mine.
I'm a big movie guy. Colton's a big Marvel movie guy.
I got comfort movies.
Yep. So, but I love movies. I love everything. Okay. So I've seen a lot of football movies. Colton does love football, so he has seen a lot of these football movies too. But I can't wait. You know, we agreed upon this, the other day. So we, like I said, we don't know each other's list at this point. So I
Starting
can't-
out at number 5. Who do you have
No, you
as
first.
number 5? You want me to go first?
Yes, I want you to roll with it.
All right. At my number 5, I have Invincible,
Okay.
starring Mark Wahlberg. Fantastic movie.
Yeah. No, that.
It's a tearjerker.
Yeah. Man, 5 really?
It's at 5.
I can't wait
Yeah.
to hear you have above that.
What do you have?
No, I want to hear the rest of your list.
We're going each tier. I'm not rattling off my list.
For me, at number 5, I'm probably going Any Given Sunday. Great movie. Al Pacino, huge.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx. Yeah, there's some classics in there, some good songs. But I mean, you
It's
got
a hardcore movie.
it is. But
It's not for kids.
it is not for kids. That is for certain. But if you want to sneak it in, kids, go ahead. You'll learn something. But no, it's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. I feel like in a sense it gets football right though. So many movies, sports movies.
It feels like that's more of like a behind the scenes of what goes on
Yes, and that's
in
what I love.
today's world.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I like about it. It gets those aspects of right, and it gets the game right. I feel
That's a hardcore movie.
because so many sports movies may get the acting or get the story right, but when it comes to them actually playing in the movie,
Yeah.
the sport, it's awful, and I can't stand that. But I feel like they do a good job of that.
Yeah. All right. So your fifth movie is a hardcore movie in Any Given Sunday, and mine's a Disney movie. So you can kind of see where this list is going. Okay. All right. So give me your number 4 then.
So I am going with Gridiron Gang, actually. The Rock. It is an emotional movie.
The Rock, Exhibit.
Yeah, it's an extremely emotional movie. I love it. I mean, I was a young kid,
Great movie.
It's teen when it came out. We were teens when it came out.
Yeah.
It hit all the
Another
right spots.
tearjerker.
Yeah, no, it is. But to me,
There's a lot of football movies out there that aren't tearjerkers though.
but that movie is so much more. It's about football, but it's so much more than about football. It's about someone wanting to take on the challenge, the Mustang Challenge.
Yeah.
But take on the challenge of like taking these young men that are not in great places in their life, they're in jail or
Based on a true story.
based on a true story, and molding them and showing them that they can be better than
What got them in the situation that they're
Exactly.
in. Yeah, it's a
And-
fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's a great story, but again, they get football right.
They make
but-
it real.
Yeah,
it's so
raw.
real.
That out of my list, that probably feels like the most accurate. But again, I mean, it's based on a true story. But no, I thought the acting was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Everyone killed it in their role, especially
It made you fall in love with
the character.
each character.
Yes, especially when The Rock is sitting there in the room, with the running back, just
Willie Weathers,
Willie Weather, yes,
Yeah.
crying over one another and just
because he's going through it.
Yeah.
Big time involved in gangs, which a lot of those. I mean, if you haven't
8-5s.
seen the movie, a lot of those guys that's in that I guess it's a prison
yeah,
or a jail
yeah,
or
yeah. Like juvenile.
juvenile. So having that interaction with the kids and like you said, the acting was phenomenal because I don't think that guy's in any other movie.
No.
Like there's a lot of where the football players are in that movie, you don't see them in anything
No,
else. So
no.
for them to be like one time, one and dones,
Killed it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he's talking in that jail, that cell with that kid, man, it's just like,
Yeah.
you feel it, man,
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
just
No,
lost his boy
Yeah.
on the streets, going through it, getting a fight in the bunks, man. God, it is a good movie. And
Might
you know
have to-
what's bad?
What's that?
It's not on my list. We started talking about it, and I'm like, golly, I don't have it.
Yep. No, well, we can't all be winners.
No. All right. So, so my number 4, I've got Draft Day. Kevin Costner.
Actually,
Talk about getting it right.
So I watched that movie the other night.
Yeah.
Started at like 11 p.m. and finished at like 1. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's a football and a love story.
It is, but it's a love story to football. I
Right,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
I love it. I think it's a fantastic movie.
Because there's not another movie like that out there.
It's in my top 5. I won't lie to you as well.
Good.
No, it's great. It's based around the Browns. Came out in a great year. It very accurately depicted how the Browns are as a team during that time. And honestly,
It's a cluster. It's a
just-
cluster.
Yeah,
Just like their program is today. Like
Yep.
their franchise is an absolute cluster, has been
except for the
for
Baker
a
years.
long time.
Except in the Baker years, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great depiction, and I love all aspects. They actually very much involved. The draft
Process,
prospect,
yeah.
the draft process, but the draft prospects as well.
Right. Yeah.
But then just like
Building the
watching Costner
relationships. Yeah.
weave his way through getting these trades and just working his magic, no one believed in him, and then doing his thing, and then getting who he wants the whole time.
Yeah.
But watching him draft Mac, at the they had the number 7 pick. He wrote his little letter to himself at the beginning of the movie. No matter what, take him. At 7 at that point.
What
But
was that character's name? I know it's Chadwick Boseman, but what was his character? It was something Mac, right?
Yeah.
Golly, that's throwing me off.
Yep.
But yeah, no matter what, him. Yeah,
And
that
he
was
did, and he
perfect.
ends up taking him as a
And he
linebacker.
squirreled his way into all those draft picks.
Got his picks back and
Yep.
got himself a kicker. All the things. So.
Yep. No, it was a fantastic movie.
No, great movie.
Made you
Great.
want to root for the Browns, but then you watch the Browns in real life, and it's like, yeah, oh my God. That's the best thing about the Browns is a fictional movie about them.
Yeah, no, it was so. I mean, that was my number 3 movie actually. So
Okay, so that was your number
Yeah,
3.
so
All
let's
right,
hear
perfect.
yours.
All right, mine is The Replacements, baby. Love that movie.
Love it.
Love that
Love it.
movie. Shane Falco.
I mean, early 2000s.
Keanu Reeves with the
Keanu
flow.
Reeves, yeah.
Lefty.
I mean, he's in the middle of doing the Matrix films, and then he's like, "Yeah, I think
gonna play some
I'm
football.
gonna play a freaking quarterback.
And I'm going to be left-handed and be
Yeah.
the best there ever
Yeah,
was.
I'll show you, Tim Tebow.
Imagine that happening, like that movie. Imagine it happening in real life where
I would love to see
players go on strike.
would
And
love
it's
to
like,
see
let's go just get these guys who used to play.
Yeah, it'd be like,
For what was it, 3 games? They played 3 games, I
Yeah,
think it was,
yeah.
during the strike.
yeah,
God,
it was
such a great
dude.
movie.
It was amazing. Yeah, that is such a funny movie.
Clifford Franklin.
Yeah. And how about the big old boy eating all them daggum eggs and puking all over the field? And then they have to take the huddle and shuffle together. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, yeah, that's a really good movie. And Shane Falco's probably my favorite fantasy quarterback in any movie.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Mm.
He's a dog, man. And he gets the cheerleader, the girl at the end. Perfect story.
All right. Number 2 is we're going with Varsity Blues, Paul Walker. You know, he wasn't the main guy, but yeah,
He was, but wasn't.
He wasn't, but you know, still showed respect.
R.I.P.
We got Mox. We got some Mox.
Mox.
Yeah. No.
Nerd.
Free. Yeah. Well, you know, he showed he was that dude.
Billy Bob.
Him,
Tweeter.
Tweeter. Yeah, no, love that movie. You know, that is a great depiction of high school football.
High school ball, yeah.
Texas high school football.
Right, yeah.
No,
The best football in the country is in the state of Texas.
absolutely. And
Their
bar
high
none.
school stadiums are like college stadiums everywhere
And
else.
the town, the city, the state shuts down for a Friday
Yeah.
night game. Everyone goes.
yeah, you don't get that around here.
No. And I mean, and football is huge in Alabama,
Yeah.
but it's nothing like it is in Texas.
No, that is
But yeah, no,
such a fun
that,
movie.
That when that movie came out, I mean, we weren't even teenagers yet,
yeah.
but I've continued to watch it year after year before
Yeah,
football
it's one of
starts.
those. It's like, oh, I haven't seen it in a couple years. I'm gonna watch it, and then you
We quote it all the
still
time.
you laugh at the same stuff. You pick up on a few things because you know when you're younger, you don't pick up on
10.
a lot of the stuff. 10, Miss Daisy.
Will you go to prom with me?
Yeah. So yeah, I know I didn't play high school football, but obviously being around it, unfortunately, our high school team was very bad during our years there. But yeah, Varsity Blues, it
It set the bar.
tearjerker.
It set the bar for how we expected high school. it set the bar for how we expected high school
Right, yeah,
life
yeah.
and high school football to go.
Yep.
And I'm sure there are plenty of high schools out there that do meet that standard. Ours unfortunately did not. But no, fantastic movie. So many quotable moments.
Yes.
And and high tense scenes that really evoke emotion. And just bring out the most.
around football.
Yeah, great.
Life around the players.
Absolutely.
Make
I mean-
you love every character in that movie. Also,
Yes. Yeah. No, it was a fantastic movie. I love it.
yeah. That's unfortunately that's another movie that didn't crack my top 5.
Do you see why I prefaced all of this by to say that this guy sitting across from me only watches Marvel movies?
No. All right, so my number 2. That was your number 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So my number 2 is The Waterboy.
Yes.
Instant classic.
Instant classic. I wish that I could put it in my top 5. I'm a huge Adam Sandler fan, and I love this movie, but it didn't feel right. So I'm very
There's too many good football movies out there to break it down into 5.
yeah.
Which I've got a couple honorable mentions, but we'll get to that at the end. But yeah, The Waterboy is an instant classic. That's probably my top comfort movie.
Really?
Yes, because you talk about one-liners or lines throughout the movie, just second to none.
That's
And that's
high-
an older movie too.
It's a high quality H2O.
It's high quality H2O.
H2O.
Yeah, fantastic movie.
Water sucks.
And Adam Sandler is probably my favorite actor. So there's
he is in my
he
top
makes
3.
it. Yeah, he's definitely making the top 5.
Between him and
actor
Jim Carrey, like I mimicked everything they did throughout my childhood and teen years.
list. Yes. All right. So, and number 1, this is big. We probably have the same one. It's probably a lot of people's number 1 football movies.
Friday Night Lights.
Oh, it's not mine.
Oh, well, there's winners and losers and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm the winner. So Friday Night Lights is the best football movie known to man. Bar none, no discussion. Let us hear what you think in the comments. But no,
They blew it.
I don't care. They won it the next year. They
No,
won
that
it
is
the
a-
next year,
that's
didn't they?
my, That's my honorable mention movie.
So Friday Night Lights, though, the movie is it taught me. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so many things to talk about with that movie.
Yeah.
The acting is unmatched, but it takes all of my previous top five, some of my other four movies, and just bunches it up and perfects everything
Yeah.
that all those other movies did.
Right, yeah.
So I don't know. I love it. I watch it 2 or 3 times a year, every single year since
That's a
it
good
came out in
movie.
2004. I love that movie. They get it right. They hit it on the head. I mean,
It's raw.
it is raw. I mean, and again, based on a true story.
Yeah.
You know, just watching, Mike Winchell go through what he's going through, dealing with his, grandmother, not having his, parents there.
Yeah.
Booby
Booby Miles.
let him spin if you want to win, coach. And watching him get hurt, and then him being a top athlete probably in the country during that
Right.
time, late 80s, and seeing him get hurt, and him not really quite knowing how to deal with that.
Yeah, he just wanted to play
He just
ball.
wanted to play. He didn't care about anything. He loved football.
He could do it all,
Yeah,
no matter what. He
absolutely.
wasn't going to let an injury stop him,
And
but
then
inevitably.
Colmer coming in after him, and then really believing in him, and then going off and doing his thing.
That was the famous Jet Jackson
The
one.
famous Jet Jackson rip, by the way, man.
Yeah.
You were a fantastic actor. Yeah,
That is a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's my honorable mention along with The Longest Yard. But my number one is Remember the Titans.
fantastic, man. I understand why you put it there. I mean,
Yeah.
I would have again,
Like I said, I feel like that's a lot of people's number one.
it probably
football
is.
movie,
It
yeah.
probably, it was really hard not to put that into my
Yeah.
top 5.
Yep. That movie, you literally fell in love with every single character in that movie.
Absolutely,
It's raw. It's going through a time where there's
a very tough time in our history.
Right. Yeah. With racial issues going on.
That we still, the movie is 20 years old now. When it came out, it was representing a time that was, roughly 30 years prior.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that we are still experiencing those same issues today.
Some of it, yeah.
20 years past the, point of the movie coming out.
Yeah.
50 years past the point of, the time period that it took place.
Yeah. Remember the Titans will always make Remember the Titans will always make me cry
Yeah.
every single time.
Put it on. Let's see.
Oh man,
Yeah. No.
great movie.
Yeah, I agree. Denzel, of course.
That wasn't on your list at all.
I know. I told you it was hard, man.
Golly.
Because
At least Friday Night Lights was an honorable mention for me.
but for me, I mean, you said top 5 football movies. I mean, they don't.
We could have done 10.
We should have done 10. That we should have done 10. But whenever we decided to do this, I thought about it from the perspective of football, from someone who played football.
Right,
And
yeah.
so, like, who got it right playing football?
Took that as a shot, by the way.
Yeah. So I feel like these other movies got it right from the football standpoint. Invincible.
This was your top 5, and this was mine. We didn't.
Yeah.
This isn't the world's top 5.
Yeah.
This isn't the
Mine's right, but that's neither here nor there. But no, so I took it from the perspective of like what based around football, what they
How they were to you.
Now remember Titans. If we're going based on story and invoking emotion and just the overall premise of it, yes, that's my
Yeah.
number one. I'll agree with there. Like if I'm doing based on that, it'd probably be Remember Titans, Invincible, then like Friday Night Lights.
Well, then we neither of us had Rudy.
that's a throwaway win for me.
We didn't have the Gridiron Gang. Yeah,
I had Gridiron Gang.
you had the Gridiron Gang. I had the Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Okay, as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
But that was another great Adam Sandler movie. There was another one. You had Any Given Sunday. Let's see. Just off the top of my head, what were the other football movies?
Oh my gosh, y'all. How do we leave out Jerry Maguire?
I never seen it. Going back to his point, he's seen everything. I haven't seen it, so yeah. Don't shoot me.
I'm actually if this was a top 10, then yes, I would have made the list. I'm sorry for all the Jerry Maguires out there.
my bad.
No, that is a fantastic movie. So that will be my honorable mention. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't put it in my top 5.
Yeah, that's on me. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
We Are Marshall,
that's not in my top 10.
Blindside. I'm just saying like football movies.
Yeah.
It's not in my top 10 either.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like there's so many movies out there. Concussion with Will Smith. I think I've seen it once.
I wouldn't even call that a football movie.
Yeah.
It's just based around the NFL.
Radio.
I like French fries.
That Radio is a great movie.
Would you call Forrest Gump a football movie? I mean, he played at Alabama.
No, I would. Actually, I don't think I would. I don't think
I'm just
anybody
kidding.
would.
No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Little Giants. Is
Little
on
Giants, yes. That is, I mean, our producer said that it was a great movie. I love that movie. I watched it not too long ago too. You got the freezer, the refrigerator, I think is what they call it. Yeah. Icebox. That's it. Icebox. What a movie.
There. Facing the Giants.
Oh, is that the Christian one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tearjerker. The entire time.
No. When
I actually saw that movie a few weeks ago.
have you never seen it before?
Oh, I have.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No, when the coach gets
Made me want to get my life right after watching that movie.
Yeah, I probably don't need to watch it again then. But when the coach, gets the players to blindfold their eyes and crawl across the field,
Yeah.
But at they did it a couple times throughout the movie. But the one point in the movie where he gets the big dude to hold another big dude on his back, crawl across the field, and the he's just like, keep going. You're almost there.
Yeah.
You're almost there. And then when he finally takes it off, what he expects.
Went 100 yards.
Yeah,
or
went the
whatever.
whole length of the field. Thought he was going to go on half the field or something like
Yeah.
that. But went the whole length of the field. Inspirational.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That
No, and you had the other team.
I am highly
the rest of the
disappointed.
players standing like, oh my God, is he really doing this?
Yeah,
Is he doing
they're
this?
all standing up, walking around. I'm like, oh, like that. But that right there, that is perfect for any athlete out there, young athlete,
Yeah.
high school. Watch that movie if you've never seen it, because it will teach you that your brain will hold you back so much.
Yeah.
Please watch that movie, and learn to push.
If you know the end goal, will you work as hard to get to the end goal?
I mean it. Through my own trial.
If he
and
knew
error,
he only had to go 15, 20 yards,
he was stopped.
Yeah.
And
He would have done
we
that
all know
easily.
that.
He would have done it easily.
I've pushed, after seeing that movie, I've, pushed myself over time, trying to overcome those same types of obstacles.
Right.
And
Yeah.
again, like any athlete out there, watch that movie, learn from it, and push yourself. When you set a goal, if you want to get that next rep or whatever, once you get that next rep or you get that next mile or next step or whatever it is you're doing, that next pull up, keep going.
It pays off, yeah.
Keep going. Don't stop. Like
you
keep
said,
going
it's a
until
mindset
you,
thing.
I promise you can go that much further, that much harder, that extra rep, more and more and more. The only thing that is stopping you is literally your brain. I promise you, you can overcome any of those obstacles.
Yeah. The Air Bud. That's a football movie. The original Air Bud's the basketball movie. Let's not get it twisted
Yeah.
here.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the show. Thank you for watching. We hope you tune in next week. Again, this was
Yes.
episode 1, so bear with us here. We're trying.
Yes, the background is empty,
Everything is a work in
naked.
progress,
It's a
including
working
us.
chaos. Yes,
Stick
we
with
will
us.
get better.
Stick
we
with
will
us.
get
If you're here,
better.
for some fun, to just take a breather from your day. I mean, he and I are working men as well. So this isn't our full time
Got
jobs.
a family.
We have families. But we're doing this. I mean, we've talked about this for years. So this is something we've really want to do. We finally have the opportunity to do this. So just bear with us. We will continue to improve. We're going to learn from every mistake we've learned, that we make from this episode.
We'll watch film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unlike Bama's defense.
We're going to watch film. We're going to watch our
Yes.
film and we're going to study and
We
we're going
will
to
get better.
But stick with us week in, week out. So, I mean, we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk movies. We're going to talk a little bit of
Life.
everything. Life, yes. So, I mean, if all of that sounds appealing to you, stick with us. I mean, we will continue to get better. I mean, we're not going to – if one thing we're not, that's boring. I can promise you that.
No,
So,
we're not going to be boring. This first episode may seem boring, but like I said, once we get more comfortable, once we get things figured out here for
Absolutely.
us –
We have no expectations or anticipations of going out and becoming YouTube famous or TikTok famous, making
Nope.
$1 million. Yeah, we're doing this because we want to, because he and I have been best friends since we were 11 years old.
No
and,
doubt.
We've been through a lot together.
Yep.
We're as brothers can be.
Yep.
Love each other very much. and we have got a great bond. We feel that we have a great chemistry that will really relate to you guys. So thank you for tuning in, and
Yes,
we hope to
please
see you next week.
comment, and subscribe to Cap Sports. Yes, we will be posting stuff out on YouTube. We'll be trying to get stuff out on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. So please, like we said,
Bear with
keep
us.
in touch. Yeah, bear with us. Why did I say keep in touch? We'll keep in touch. You keep in touch.
What are you gonna do? Write them? You gonna
Bear with us.
You gonna write them mail?
Yeah, we'll put up a mailbox. What is it? Pen pal.
Yeah.
We'll be pen pals.
Okay. You're doing too much now.
All right, let's go.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys next time.
Peace.